everybody, how's it going? My name is John Vatsios from IMGMR.com. I am here in Montreal at Migs. What is Migs, you might ask, is the Montreal International Game Summit, where a bunch of awesome stuff is going on, keynote speeches, information about developers and producers and artwork from all over the gaming industry, and all these professionals have a bunch of interesting stuff to share with us. And right here with me, I have Samantha Youssef, who's going to talk to us a little bit about what she spoke about at her keynote. So thanks for talking to us.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the floor was yours just not long ago. What kind of stuff did you share with the gaming community?
Mostly I was talking about character design and character development and story, and how, because my background is feature moving into video games, character and story development are really important. So I really wanted to convey to everyone the importance of understanding how their character relates to the games and how to create a memorable and believable character. Mm-hmm. That was basically it, and talked a little bit about the physical design of the character as well, and graphic principles, because that's usually what my involvement is in the industry, is doing that kind of design, graphic work, and consultation. So got into that a little bit, and yeah, that's in a nutshell, in like one answer.
You only have 3 more seconds. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. So, so what's kind of the conclusion that you were able to draw from that? What does it take for a character to have a lasting impact on a gamer?
Okay, well, okay, this sounds obvious, but character believability. But a character has to come from a story. Like, there's character and characterization would be all, you know, the physical things, like what they're wearing, how their hairstyle would be, or things that reflect to the player like who this character is. But I got that.
I did. Something like a stash, perhaps?
Is that for November or always?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
It might last longer, who knows? It's going well so far.
It suits you, I think it suits you.
Oh, thank you.
Should keep it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, so just to get them to understand the importance of character, because especially now that games are, you know, you're getting games that are more in depth with story, more involved, and the characters need to be believable, and there tends to be a sort of a generic consistency among the characters now, so it's getting them to really understand what that character is, how a character is a design, in that they're designed to manipulate the audience or the viewer to understand their role in the story, and to take that player along that journey and that story arc with them. So the character has to represent many things. It can't just be that you have like this cool idea of like a ninja pirate assassin that's, you know, going
That's pretty cool.
It is cool, but it only lasts so long. It's cool for a moment, and then and so there needs to be more. But it is engaging, I'll give you that. I've always wanted to be a ninja pirate assassin.
I do secretly.
So, yeah.
We'll compare diaries after. I'll show you. I have illustrations, something we might be interested in. But
yeah, so that's essentially you know, getting that across, and then once they know who their character is, how to actually develop that design, how to find the right like shapes and the drawing and the whole process involved in developing the design, which I think is it's not as developed as the experience that I've had in feature, so I try to help people bridge the gap, because next gen is getting there, you know, so it's not going to be as forgivable anymore. So people need to you know, get that standard of character.
For sure. Like they've built it up so far, you can't let it crash now, right?
Yeah, and why there's some characters that are memorable, like, you know, like Link. You love Link?
Link, of course.
So, yeah.
Link came to town to save the Princess Zelda. Quote, the Zelda franchise. So now that we're talking about the next gen, of course, many things are changing, as you just told us. What is going to be different? Because given your expertise in this field, and you've been working in this profession for quite a long time now, the retro or older style of animations and what it took to create and establish a character within a game and a gaming franchise, how has that kind of changed? How is that progression?
Well, I guess, you know, in the older games, they were more iconic, you know, so, and then what happens with iconic, it's just like in graphic novels or in character design, anything that's iconic, we can impose our own ideas on it and accept more, I guess. You know, like if you just see like a little ball and triangle that represents woman, I can imagine like, oh, that represents me too. Whereas the closer it gets to realism in its movement, in dialogue, in story, in its visual design, the closer it can become somebody that I don't relate to. So I think that the evolution now, I mean, these games are essentially becoming like an interactive feature film that can span 50 hours. And so the characters have to be much more engaging. They have to be much more believable. The quality of the animation has to become a higher standard now than what it previously was in gaming, because if a character is just a few polygons and it doesn't quite move realistically, we accept it. Whereas if a character looks photorealistic but doesn't move realistically, we get that creepy floaty animation that we see a lot of.
Yeah.
So, you know, the caliber of the artist has to step up now to keep up with the fact that technology is now providing the opportunity for games to be that 50-hour feature film, whereas before it was only in film that we could reach that level. So, which is really exciting because the interactive story is really cool. So
definitely. Well, listen, I can already tell, like, given your amount of I guess the emotion that goes along with it and passion in what you do, where do you think you draw the most inspiration from? Like, I was able to speak with you before, and you said you are a gamer yourself.
I do,
which is awesome.
Video games.
And so that must be a huge part of it, since you are a fan and you've been playing them for years. It must affect the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, some of the games that come out, like I was saying, like I'm a bit of a Warcraft geek and stuff, but the art that comes out from
there she is, everybody.
It's a fun game. But,
it is a fun game.
But you know, like they're doing beautiful cinematics. Like I'm loving the Pandaria expansion, and just the world is beautiful. And I know it's not rendered to the extent that, you know, you see like Assassins or whatever.
For such a large game,
it's
understandable.
An MMO,
exactly.
But it's artistically, it's beautiful. There's beautiful art direction, color palettes. Like, you know, these guys know what they're doing. They're a talented, brilliant team of artists, and I love the gameplay of the game. It's a fun experience, so I'm enjoying it. But I always like the classics too, and you know, like we were saying before, like Zeldas are always awesome. But those guys know how to make games, and that's the kind of stuff that, you know, for me, when I'm looking to things for inspiration, like those are the games that I would, you know, I look at those things. Ultimately though, like from my training, you know, I do also look at feature film, and because I find that for animation and for design, like a lot of these worlds are now coming together and looking from life, and that's what I try to communicate to the artists in the gaming industry as well, is that, you know, to reference like the whole world, because that's where you've got to take your inspiration from, because the games are developing now and they're hitting that next level of quality. Everything that came before isn't going to be the same standard as what they have to aim to now.
Exactly.
So they have to be like, you know, you've got to be well trained, and you've got to get your ideas from the world, and just like other artists did outside. I mean, gaming is becoming an industry that can allow for it to be an art form now, whereas
of course
before it was
it's much more culturally relevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to behave just like artists in any other field. So you look at the good stuff, you look at the classics, and you look at other media as well and stuff for inspiration.
Very
so
cool, definitely. That's
what I do at least. But the games are fun, and it's always nice to be like, yeah, I'm playing this game for reference. So
yeah, like, I'm working right now. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Good, they're gone. We can be together.
That's
again.
what I like about it too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm like, I'm watching the animation.
You get into it. It's fun.
You do.
And all through the character, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's cap things off with saying, what did you hope to leave in the minds of the people that you were able to reach out to at your conference today? What was kind of the main bottom line that you were hoping after they heard your keynote? They were going to think to themselves, okay, this is what I can take away, and this is how I'm going to try to implement that in gaming.
I hope that they took away two things. I think to be great as an artist in this field, I hope that, like, what I see a lot and what I hope has changed in their perception is that there's no tricks to excellence. It's just a lot of hard work and a lot of stuff that you have to study and learn to master it. And so I hope they took that away, but I hope that, and just the levels of depth, that you can't take your characters for granted. You know, like everything is a deep exploration and process. But I also hope that they took away that despite the fact that it's an overwhelming amount of work, that it's a really fun and awesome thing to do, and that they came away inspired and excited to do that kind of stuff. So that's the main thing, that despite all the technical stuff I gave them, that I hope that they walked away from. So
awesome, sounds good.
So,
are we going to be seeing you next year at Migs?
I hope so. It's my third year, and if they invite me back again next year, I would love to
punch your card one more time. The next one's free.
That would be so cool.
I know.
Yeah. But I get my pass for free as a speaker, so I should get like extra T-shirts.
Extra, yeah. We only get one in here. Do you believe that?
I didn't even get a T-shirt.
Haha.
I got a hat though. There was a hat in my bag.
Oh, me too. I got the toque from Eidos.
Yeah, but
sponsor.
I didn't.
Shoot them in there. Well, listen, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so
you.
much. You're absolutely adorable. And you've given us such great insight on what goes on right now in the animation and characters, in what makes us really be able to enjoy our games at that next level. So guys, once again, Samantha Youssef and I am John Batzos from IMGMR.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and be sure to continue following us around Migs for more interviews about all the stuff you care about in the gaming world. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks. Can we?
That's how they know. That's the dancing number has begun. Are we? Hmm? Samba. I saw it once, and I. Is it literally? Are we?
Is it off? I pulled my microphone off. Should I?